Alright, so this time what we're going to do is we're going to roll scraps using the cigar that you saw me roll yesterday. And there's a few, I think there's the other half of the binder, the other half of the wrapper, I believe. So this is not totally what all the scraps I had from, 2 to 3 cigars. But, so yeah, I just want to show you real quick. There's one, and here's another piece. That's good binder. Plenty of good binder and wrapper material here. This is like the other half and the cut-offs, and you can kind of see it. There's plenty of options here. I mean, I could literally probably make 20 cigarillos with the stuff that's in here. And there's a twig. Get rid of twigs. By the way, I'm enjoying a nice mint julep. If you guys are interested in how to make one, they're super easy, but make a nice mint simple syrup, the kind that you would make a mojito with, and put nice bourbon in there, crushed ice, and tell you what, these things are just awesome. I love mint juleps. Anyway, here we go. So I put some pipe tobacco in here actually too, just because I had some extra that I didn't smoke. So this is just kind of all the filler material that I'm seeing here. Here's another, another twig here. No twigs. So I'll throw that away. Alright, and then we start inspecting, and what I'm doing is I have this sheet here. It's face up, so the scraps all stay in here. They're smaller scraps, so you want them all to be kind of contained. And I'm just going to kind of look and see what I got here. See, this will make at least 2 or 3 different wraps here. Not perfect looking, but certainly workable. We get our distilled water again. Pretty much the same thing as before, just smaller. And so that's one of them here. This will make a nice wrapper as well. So as you can see, that actually we can make a nice, pretty good sized cigar, maybe 2 cigarillos. As you can see here, this looks like a binder leaf here. I could probably make a wrap out of this end. This end would be really skinny, but I could make a wrap out of that. So we'll lay it flat. We'll spray it down. See, there's really countless options you can use here. This would be a nice little wrap as well. And I'm just seeing all these opportunities. Now this might not make a great wrap. There's a nice big vein here. But I might be able to take this part and to take this part, and that might make almost like a cigarette size wrap. So anyway, what we're going to do, we just keep looking through this stuff. This will be a really nice wrap right here. This could actually make a cigar, really, if I wanted to make a small cigar. That's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put these aside. This is just gorgeous here. This looks like just like a nice wrapper. So you want a good spray bottle that doesn't spew everywhere. That's going to be nice. And we need a rolling pin here. Hold on one second. Alright, so I grab my rolling pin and I just kind of slightly roll it. See, I'm starting to stretch it out here. The only downside of having this pan up is that I can't really roll it because it hits the side here. So you kind of have to move your leaf a little bit. Alright, and so this is the tip, this is the base here, so we're going to cut most of this off anyway. More scraps. And remember from yesterday is we want a nice straight edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this edge of the leaf here so that it looks nice and pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect because these are little cigarellos. You know, it doesn't have to be like a prized possession here. Put a little on the mat, kind of let it suction to the mat here. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along this edge as close as I can get to it. And then you just kind of peel it away. So that's a nice, clean working edge. Alrighty. And again, we're not going to see this inside. Doesn't really matter. And so we take all of these binders and wrappers, put them aside, and we open up our nice bag of Seiko and the Hero. I just kind of do this a little bit, kind of mix it up. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of get all the leaves in one direction here. Little veins, you don't want those. I should have plucked those out. Okay. You can kind of start to see how it's forming. This has a hole in it, but that's okay. You know, the idea with this is if you had a canvas, you can kind of flap it over and pull it back. I've seen some videos where they do that. It's like kind of like a Lieberman machine. So I felt where it was getting soft, and then I collect these scraps and I'll just put it in the same part again. You know, I've done this different ways. Kind of just feel it. I'm just kind of doing this just to tighten it up a little bit. This is actually a pretty big cigarello. I've never rolled one this big. More like a Cuban sandwich cigar. And we'll cut it off. It gets kind of soft up here, so I should probably roll this tighter. You can do this as long as you want. It's not perfect. That's okay. Oh, we'll leave that end. We'll cut this end. Just keep on doing this until you think you're done. Let me get my cigar glue. Get our cigar glue with our pectin. Just need a little dab. And if you see a hole or something, you can kind of just cover that with the pectin, and it'll help kind of seal it down. And you just don't want to roll too tight because then it won't draw properly. We're not using entubado where there's little holes in it. This is all just kind of sandwiched together, so you might have a draw problem. And with these, you know, the ash won't be as good. So you just kind of have to be, you know, you just kind of have to know that going into it. Alright, So this looks decent to me. It might be a little too hard. You know, sometimes you can poke something in there when you're done rolling it, like a pin or a pen. You'll get creative. So we'll grab it here. Veins up, outer edge, that's the part you see. Get our cigar glue again. And this just kind of seals it up. You know, and that's the basic gist of it. I don't really care too much about how these look. They're just scraps. You can grab your scissors you want when it feels kind of soft and kind of cut it. You know. And that is it. You got your little cigarello or Cuban cigar scrap. You can do the same thing. You know, this isn't. It's not perfect. Yeah, it's pretty good though. Some of these lines are kind of rolling up, but that might smoke pretty good.